And now, my people, it's your guy, the Niger Englishman, and we are back here, Tunnel TV settings, for another episode of Op Watch. I mean, we're going to have a lot of these Op Watch shows during this transfer window. There's a lot of information to talk about. Clubs are going wild, football directors are going wild, players are going wild, fans are going. It's all crazy over here. It's crazy. Don't forget to smash the like button, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if it's your first time on the show. And don't forget to hit the notification button so you can be informed on all the content coming out your way from Tunnel TV. And there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a relaunch next month as well with some new content, new shows, new information, new hosts. It's going to be crazy. Big things happening for Tunnel TV back end of 2025. But first of all, hello to my illustrious panel. How are we doing today on this? I don't know. I'm in the UK and it's a bit. I don't know. It keeps picking and choosing. Every 10 minutes, it decides to change the weather it wants to be. It gets the clouds with a bit of rain, and then there's a bit of sunlight, and there's a bit of rain. It's confused. But how's everyone doing today, man? How's everyone doing?
Good, man. Good.
Great morning so far.
The weather's like the transfer market.
The what? The weather's like the transfer. Yeah, for real, for real, bro. 100%. Smash the like button, my people. I guess. Look, I mean, usually he's coming on the stream and there's a lot of doom and gloom going on. But today, the last couple of days, there's been a lot of a little bit of exciting things when it comes to the likes of Manchester United. Obviously, the fans got a bit excited thinking they could hijack the Gykores thing, but we know that's just the agent playing games and all that stuff. But also, Arsenal's other target, Sesko, could be up for grabs now. And I mean, I remember coming on the stream and Ibrahim was very much Sesko over Gykores, if I'm correct. So you should be quite excited about this move, no?
Exactly.
To be honest, I'm not going to say anything until it happens.
Oh my gosh! Right? Look, that's what these transfer shows are about. We want to speculate.
Brother, who you talking to, man? I told you, brother, who you talking to, man? Put the sound in, man. Put the sound in. It's like your roof, man. There's a hole somewhere. Patch it up.
He's broken. He's broken. He's been beaten and battered and bruised. So he doesn't want to find the thing that gets him too excited for it to be taken straight away from him. I hear it. But in terms of the rumors, the links, is this the type of striker that you should be signing at Manchester United? Is this the type of ready to attack the Premier League striker that you guys need?
You started by saying Arsenal wanted him at some point, right?
Yeah.
Why did you want him?
I don't know. Arteta will tell you that. I don't know the answer.
Were you excited?
I wasn't personally. I wanted Gykores, and I'm excited to get him now.
Okay, fair enough. It's very exciting to hear, to be honest. And Sesko is obviously, like I said on the last show, is a lot better than what we have at the moment, right? So it's going to be a huge upgrade to our attack. We've pretty much, that would mean that we'll be buying 3 players who were their team's best players for last season. And also
3 attacking players as well.
Yeah, 3 attacking players who were the highest goal scorers and also the best players for their respective teams last season. So I think.
Whoa! Hold on.
Are you sure Sesko was the best player for RB Leipzig last season?
I don't know how much of Bundesliga you watch, but there's a young fella called Xavi Simmons who'll have a lot to say about that.
Exactly.
I know it's good to. I mean, it works with your narrative. It's good to feel like it's the best player. Carry on.
Yeah. Pretty sure, brother.
There's a reason the guy's name's been popping up here and there, right? So for me, it's going to be a huge upgrade. Our manager, Ruben Amorim, has absolutely no excuse not to deliver something very significant. I'm not going to quantify it in terms of position or trophies or anything just yet, but significance, which would ultimately be a function of progress, right? We want to see a lot better than the eyesore that we were made to watch most of last season. And, I'm really excited about it. If it does happen, at the moment already I'm bored. I was telling Hanibi this morning, I'm really bored. I can't wait for the league to resume again. And if the league is resuming with this kind of news, this kind of experience, rather, if we make it happen, I'll say right here again. I'm very assertive. Manchester United would have taken a very significant move towards accelerating what we want to be in the near future, right? I've seen fans saying that, oh yeah, top 10, blah, blah, blah. I think I want to be a lot better than top 10. I don't think it's too ambitious to to say
Top four.
Top 6. Top 4 is a daunting task these days, right? But top 6, 100%. I think if it does happen,
Ibrahim, stop it, brother. Come on now.
And if we will clip this part, we will clip this section of the stream.
Stop it, man. Honestly, stop it, man. Stop saying.
Why? What's your issue with Ibrahim's statements, Hani?
If you're judging it on now, if we judge it on what the team is now, you've got 2 new attackers, Ibrahim. Okay, let's say your forward line is sorted.
Right.
What about your midfield? It's like a pack of polos, isn't it? It's a pack of polos, isn't it?
Our problem last season was a scoring problem, not a defensive.
No, it wasn't. It was a defensive problem as well.
What? No, I'll tell you what.
Man United did not have a defensive problem last
season. Our defense was a lot better. Our defense was a lot better.
17th position didn't have a defensive issue last season. That's what we're saying here.
No. We had an attacking problem. We had a major attacking problem.
But you were good.
Your defense was also leaking goals. Your midfield was also very, very unstable.
Akpos, let me just finish this. If we're going to prioritize fixing a specific department, I would gladly prioritize the attack over the defense, which is what we have done. Right? You can't overhaul the entire team in one season.
Yeah.
We'll take it one
step. Ibrahim, they've done it the wrong way. You needed a midfield. You need to get a top class midfielder in if you don't want to address your defense. You've got to get and this is the problem. If you guys get, say for example, you get Gykores or Sesko or whatever, these guys are players that are going to cost you up. I think Arsenal are getting him for around 70. You guys spend 70 on whichever striker you're after. You will not have much money left to spend on the other areas.
Exactly.
Considering that we already spent 156 on Konya and Mbeumo already, I agree with you. But I would say, first of all, Rashford going to Barcelona would save us a significant amount of money, right? That should also help in covering the wages as well. The transfer fees, now.
How much was it? How much? What did Barca give you for him? I don't even know.
I don't know the details, right? But it takes 15 million off. It takes 15 million off our books for a year.
Your wage, okay,
easily, right? I believe they have a plan, right? And I didn't expect them to be this ambitious in the transfer market. We've not really been. People have been saying, Manchester United, we made very decent moves. If I'm being honest, Konya and Mbeumo are very decent moves. Again, at least this is fact. Highest goal scorers for their teams in the last.
Are you trying to convince us, or are you convincing you? They're decent moves. You sounded quite.
I'm telling you why. I'm
making
I'm
sure.
not panicking just yet, right? I think we performed okay in this transfer window. Not as ambitious as some clubs, for example, right? Not Liverpool.
Yeah.
I feel I didn't expect this kind of momentum. I mean, to be nice to see, but at the same time, we'll see what happens. It's just about a month, less than a month away. 3 weeks. That's nice. We'll see how this unfold. And my prediction from the last game for first game that I said last season, last show, it hasn't changed. I still believe it's going to happen.
Impressive. But Ibrahim, I've got one question for you. I know Kunle will want to take over precedence, but before he goes ahead, I've got one very key important question for you. I think it's a debate out there. What's your reaction about the links with Nicholas Jackson to Manchester United? I would love to hear your thoughts on that one.
Is that what we're gonna? I would
love to.
We were warming into that now.
I would love to hear his thoughts on that as we kickstart, as we are going proper into the show today. I would love to hear your thoughts. And among the 3 strikers, Nicholas Jackson, Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee, who is the better striker right now? Let's get your thought, please.
Wow.
Let's remove Zirkzee from that conversation right now. Let's focus on Nicholas Jackson and Rasmus Højlund. In terms of roles, their roles are more specific. Unlike Zirkzee, where today we see him in front, today we see him in false nine, sometimes he's dropping in.
Yeah. Very versatile.
I'll say it again, Nicholas Jackson, obviously, he had better numbers than Højlund last season, right? Jackson they have similar attributes. They have a finishing problem. Jackson is even better when it comes to positioning. Rasmus also has a positioning problem as well. I would pick, if I had to pick between those 2 strikers, I would pick Nicholas Jackson. But speaking about Manchester United going for Nicholas Jackson at the moment, that is definitely not what we need, right? If we started that conversation at this show, I wouldn't have sounded as enthusiastic as I did. Nicholas Jackson, all respect to him, is a footballer, great guy, he's making efforts there, but it's not he's not the kind of profile that we need at the moment.
He's better than anything.
What's the kind of profile? Because Ibrahim, another reason why I'm asking this question, because I'm looking at Nicholas Jackson, I'm looking at Benjamin Sesko. If we want to compare their figures from last season, Nicholas Jackson is already playing the Premier League. We've seen strikers coming from Bundesliga who are not able to replicate the numbers they are, what they are doing over there in Germany in the Premier League. And if we want to look at their numbers compared last season, I don't think Benjamin Sesko has done much compared to Nicholas Jackson, and also the price tag for me. So what are your thoughts on this point I'm mentioning now?
I like the qualitative advantage you added, which is the Premier League experience with Nicholas Jackson. Right? Yeah. That makes that's a key metric for me. Right? But for potentials for me, I would pick the other guy over Nicholas Jackson. There are a lot of things that can be coached as a footballer, right? A lot of things that can be coached. There's some things you see that I cannot coach this thing. Sesko is a very coachable striker. The way I say it.
Ibrahim, you don't know that.
Thank you. When did you coach him? When did you coach him? You're the coach him. Where you coach him?
Let's be honest, Ibrahim. How much footage have you seen of Sesko? I've never seen Sesko. How much footage have you seen of Sesko? And don't say, he plays for a big club and he's played in Champions League. We can all say that. How much have you seen?
I have seen several times in Champions League at least. Right? What I'll tell you is that what I was talking about being coachable is pretty much when your deficiencies as a player, right? You say that, okay, can this guy improve on this thing? For example.
Jackson can improve finishing.
Drogba said something about Jackson that he's a very, very good striker, blah, blah, blah. He does. I think he's one of them. And I see it sometimes. I see how much problem, how much pressure Nicholas Jackson puts on defenses.
You saw how different Cole Palmer was without Jackson last season. You get me? It wasn't the same.
Exactly.
So, him and Bruno, same link up. You know what I'm saying, bro?
And bro, I couple with the fact that Chelsea wants Garnacho, and I'm looking at this could easily be a swap deal, in my opinion. A very, how would I say it? I'm trying to look for the perfect word to go with this. I think this is a move that is easier for Man United to do compared to a Benjamin Sesko move, because we know that Arsenal were in for Sesko, but the conditions that RB Leipzig wanted in terms of the financial, in terms of the business part of the deal, was not something Arsenal was really to go ahead with. Imagine Arsenal with Champions League football, not that extra money coming in, not willing to go ahead with the deal, and now with Manchester United, who has got no Champions League football, who has spent close to 150 million already on 2 attacking players. How would you guys be able to cover the other holes that needs to be attended to in this window if you go on and spend 90 million, for example, on Benjamin Sesko, than going for a less expensive option, maybe a swap deal for Nicholas Jackson?
What, Garnacho for Jackson? Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, Garnacho for Jackson.
That's good for both parties, I think.
I don't have a seat at the table for me to be able to speak about the financial strategy.
You do, brother. You do. You've got a seat on this table.
But on this table, I'll tell you from what I this one, a little finance experience in life. Ultimately, you go for what is going to be cheaper for you with more value, right? So if the guys over there are saying this is the right combination for us to go for now, this is who we're going to go for now, this is who we're going for later. It doesn't lie with me at the moment, right? It makes sense. From a financial perspective, you're going to have reduction in revenue, no Champions League football, no European football. But I'm pretty much saying that is none of my freaking business. They should sort themselves out, right? I don't control those numbers.
In Nigerian terms, no be your papa money.
I don't my papa money. Right. I go through it. I have enough to worry about as well. Having to watch horrendous 90 minutes of football, a few times in the last month. I have my own problems to deal with. I have my own Manchester United problems to deal with, right?
We can see it on your face, bro. Don't worry.
I'll deal with my own problem as well. And hopefully we can all go back to days where we used to dance and sing Kumbaya and we're all happy.
We don't want that for your club. But on a serious note, I think both strikers have their pros and cons. So, you got when it comes to Jackson, Man United fans will just assume I'm trolling because I'm giving him some praise, but I'm being objective here, like, because this is not Manchester United that are going from 6th place to challenge for the title. It's the Manchester United that were 17th or 16th last season, who need to find their way back up the table, and who knows, unless they win a cup, the chance of them getting into Europe next season is, like, let's be realistic, like, is slim. So if we're looking for a striker to get them from 16th back into, like, for example, Akpos and Ibrahim, Hanif, the top 8, Jackson's not a bad shout, because you saw how he bullied a lot of those smaller teams last season.
Agreed.
He gets in a lot of good positions. He's definitely better than Rasmus Højlund. There's no doubt about that, even though that's not the benchmark. He's definitely better than Xerxes as well, whatever you've got. And then in 2 years' time, once you're back in the mix of that 8th, 10th, 7th, then you can start looking at like a bigger striker. The thing that when it comes to like a Sesko, what I'd say why it's positive for Sesko is I believe Sesko's ceiling is definitely much higher than Jackson's. And I also believe that we can, like, he's closer to becoming a top striker than potentially Jackson might be in terms of in world football, what people have seen. He can jump higher than Cristiano Ronaldo. Loads of people like to highlight when we were linked to him. But he's someone that a lot of teams in Europe have been watching over the last 3 years. I wouldn't say that's the same thing when it comes to Jackson. So there's definitely something about this kid, although the Premier League, he's yet to prove himself there. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. Hanif, where are you at with it? Do you think it's clear who's the better striker, or it's kind of up in the air where I'm at with it?
I think if you're just looking at numbers and if you're looking at what he's contributed, I think it's clear. I think it's very clear. I think Jackson's first season was really good. I'm a bit surprised Chelsea are not giving him a little bit longer, because I think the link-up play with several players is much better. He just doesn't score enough. That's the only problem. He's in front of goal. He thinks he's playing rugby or NFL sometimes, and he does everything right up until he gets goalies. I personally think he should be playing on the wing more rather than up front, and I think he could be a great link-up player. He'll get you 10 goals a season. He'll definitely get you that, and he can take a player in. Whereas Rasmus Højlund has problems in holding up the ball. That's not to say he's not a good player, but a young player will only thrive in an experienced system with good players around him. Manchester United need to be looking at players, need to be getting experience, and I look at it with what Arsenal have done. You know, Arteta, a lot of people are laughing at Arteta for getting Norgard. United should have got Norgard. United needed him more. You need to get experience in through the door. And that's the thing about United is it's the way they're going about deals. If you've been told that Mbeumo's going to cost, for example, 60 million, don't mess about with it. You don't have the time. Pay the money if you've got it. But they try to mess about, and then people were like, okay, we'll just wait for you guys until you get on the same page as us. So but in terms of the strikers, I think Jackson walks in the team. He walks into that team, and if anybody,
definitely,
and I believe Ibrahim believes that also, but I believe he believes Sesko's a better option. They both walk into the team. Let's be honest. They both walk into the team.
Yeah, he might be, but the thing is this: you have to give him a period to settle in. Right, half a season to a season. We've always said that. I always believe that if you come in from Europe, you need half a season to a season. But when you're paying big money for a player, the Ibrahims and the United fans, they're going to want to be rewarded early on. If he doesn't score, United fans will be unhappy, and this is the problem. The thing about Man United is they need to get off to a good start, because if they don't get off to a good start, they're in serious trouble, because they're only playing once a week for most of the season unless they go on cup runs. So I personally think United should be looking at a top-class midfielder and think about getting rid of some of your players. United are not, at this moment in time, United are having the same problem that Arsenal had until Mikel Arteta arrived. they can't get rid of those players on big contracts. They're not willing to say, listen, see you later. They're not willing to make the big boy decisions. It takes a lot to make the big boy decisions. And Ibrahim knows this is where, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, you could argue, he's worse than the Glazers. He's responsible for putting you in this position that you're in.
Boy.
And Ibrahim, I'm right. I'm right. Because when Van Nistelrooy came in to settle the ship, you should have stuck with him, because he could turn around and say,
at the end of the season, you would have been fine. You'd have been better off now.
He could turn around and say to the players, who the hell are you? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I played for? Do you know what I won?
I've won, yeah.
And Ibrahim knows this. When you get man like that, experienced man that are coming in, he's a decent coach, and under him, they'd have been thriving and firing, because that was a decent, I believe Van Nistelrooy would have finished higher than what Ruben Amorim.
Facts. But that's the uncomfortable conversation
we'll never know that, because as much as I love,
I know we'll never know that, but that's just my opinion. I'm just giving you opinion. It's not fact. It's just my opinion, because of the hunger and the desire. The hunger and the desire. Can you really say, sat there right now, that my team gave it all, man? Yes, we're a young team. We got a new man, but they went out there and they fought, man. You can't say that.
The very same Ruud van Nistelrooy got sacked at Leicester.
Akpos, but it's different circumstances, bro.
It's a different team, though, isn't it? It's a different team. United is a different team.
It's like, remember Akpos? Remember that season?
Let me tell you what.
Yeah,
I believe.
Real quick, Ibrahim. Real quick. Remember that season when Solskjaer came to Man U, when he was on that mad run, like 10 winnings in a row, that sort of stuff.
Like that.
What was supposed to happen at the end of that season is Man U was supposed to replace him then. They weren't supposed to get lost in the sauce and get excited about the run. They're supposed to give a main man then, but they didn't. And that's the difference. And now look what ended up happening with a Van Nistelrooy. If he just got that short period, I believe he would have steadied the ship, maybe finishing the top 10.
Bro, I disagree.
Top 10, bro. Like what? Look, the way he started, the confidence, the aura of being a former champion there. It's different to going into the darkness of Leicester, dealing with low quality players. They're already a sinking ship. It's not the same, Akpos. I see what you're trying to say.
You're making good points. But we've seen that new manager bounce with United before, and with what I also seen
got
watching
them all the way to second in the league.
With what I've also seen watching Ruud van Nistelrooy's team play at Leicester, I'm not really convinced personally. I don't think that it would have been the man that would have turned things around for Manchester United.
Okay, no,
on the long term
in 16. That's what I'm saying.
I think, for me personally, I think Manchester United just needed to be ruthless at that point. Go out there and bring in a manager.
16th under Ruud.
They could probably have even finished worse. We don't know what could have happened.
Exactly. We can't speak on things we
can always speculate. Nothing's fact here. We can all speculate.
We're only saying this.
We can all speculate.
Amorim managed what it was unarguably our worst season in decades, right? We're only saying this because of now. It could have been worse than this, though, right? It could have been better. But if it was worse, you guys would have been like, "Oh, why didn't you get the guy from Sporting?" Right? Tell me you're not buzzed when we're trying to get Amorim. Kole, be honest with yourself. Tell me you're not buzzed. Like, okay, this was like a very good move.
No.
Maybe not
no,
right
because Ibrahim, if it was a good move, right? Ibrahim, so he made. If you look at it this way, right? I think he was lied to, and this is my opinion. I have no proof to say this, but I believe that the ownership said to him, "We're gonna get you players in January. We're gonna get you, man. Don't you worry. We're gonna get you, man." And then in January, when my man handed his resignation, said, "Listen, I'll walk away." Ratcliffe's like, "Nah, man, you stay. We're with you until we die." So I also see it from the point of view that, what was he told? Because we'll never know this, but he would not have signed unless there was some assurances being made. So they must have turned around and said to him later on in the season, said that, "You know what? In the summer we're gonna go big. We're gonna change that front line for you." So that's just my opinion, because surely Amorim's not daft enough to sign a contract to come to a club at that particular moment in time.
We're watching it being that daft person, bro. We're watching it because look, we've watched it, bro. Because he basically Amorim got fear of loss into taking the job. He got fear of loss. If you'd heard of the sales technique, fear of loss. If you don't come now, we might not come again. And what he should have done then, he should have said, "Okay, do your thing in it. I'm top of my league here, about to win another league title. If you like, keep sinking your ship and don't come back for me in summer. That's your business. But I know I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But he got shook. He's like, oh, maybe once in a lifetime. I don't know if I can have this sort of consistent form. And he jumped at the chance. So as Hanif said, for me, Hanif, sorry, I can't feel any sort of sorry for him because he should have had some specific things promised to him in his contract. And I don't think he asked for them. I don't think he asked for them personally. He was just in awe of going to Manchester United and being the guy to turn it around. What he should have done was waited to the end of the season and weighed up his options because who knows? He could have even got a better appointment now. He could have even been in the running for the Real Madrid job. Probably wouldn't have got it, but you get what I'm saying, right? So he jumped the gun. So it's not for us to feel sorry for him now, Hanif. How do you take Manchester United from a position that is worse than Ten Hag? Ten Hag would definitely not finish in the bottom.
Well, you look at it where they finished last season, don't you? So you just, I think United are in a similar position where Arsenal were when Arteta took over. Obviously, it's worse. But you build around Kobe. You build around Kobe. He is going to be the future, and if you believe he is the future, and he's not signed, I don't know if he signed an extension yet or not. If you believe he's the future, you say, listen, we're gonna give you a lot of opportunities next season where you come on for 30 to 45 minutes, you play most of the cup games, and we're gonna build the team around you, or you're gonna be playing a large role within that. I think United need to find 2 or 3 youngsters that are willing to play for Manchester United and give it their all. Basically similar to what Saka and Martinelli and a few others have done for Arsenal, and then you just build around that because you need that. Because if you think you're gonna change most of these guys, it's going to take you 5 years. Plus, you're going to be wanting to get into some type of European competition. Ibrahim said on air, we could make 6. Listen, even Chelsea is not guaranteed to get top 4. That's me saying it. After we won Club European Champions.
You're world champions now, and
I see what the world champions
You're world champions of the world.
I'll be honest with you.
You're title contenders going into next season. All that we are not title contenders has gone with last season. Going into next season, you guys are title contenders now.
I think all you Arsenal boys on. Listen, just because my club is winning, you can't blame me. But
I'm not blaming you. But
no, we are just giving credit
your
when
props. You're trying to reduce your props. We're giving you your flowers, bro. You're trying to Chelsea.
I know. I should be in your position.
The biggest
Swap
team,
me around. Put me up
the world champions aren't guaranteed top 4. What?
Because the team's not. Because anything could happen.
Hanif.
I'm telling you right now, anything could happen, man. Premier League's different. It's not a cup competition. I've told you this before.
Okay. Hanif, we're not going to reduce the pressure.
But going back to United, top 6 right now is very competitive. Top 7, very competitive. When you look at the top 4 race, right, it was Villa, Chelsea, Newcastle, and Nottingham Forest, I think. You've got 4 men competing for the top 4, those 4 teams. And then he's saying, you know what?
This season, let's be honest.
United are gonna get there. United will only get there if you buy a top class midfielder, you buy a top class goalkeeper. If you get that and spend another 200 million, then I can see where you're coming from. But I don't think United will do that. I don't think they're gonna spend another 150.
I disagree with you.
You're going to spend another 150 on 2 players.
Let him respond.
Not on the spending, right? I disagree with you on the ambition I talked about earlier. And I'll tell you why. I will say again with all sense of confidence that we had absolutely no business finishing in the bottom half of the table last season. We had no business whatsoever. We had no business. A lot of schoolboy mistakes were made by players. A lot of schoolboy mistakes were made by the manager as well, right? For example, the Europa final, they literally said, let him have the ball. They can't do jack with it. That was a game you should have killed. You had the ball 70% of the time, the entire second half.
What game is that, sorry?
What happened last season? The Europa
League finals,
right? What happened last season?
You didn't beat Tottenham all season. You didn't think you're going to beat Tottenham. Behave yourself, man.
What happened last season?
That's your nemesis, Tottenham, bro.
Behave yourself, brother. Behave yourself. Your best team against their best team. Come on now. You lost them 3 times.
Four. Be right. 4 times.
Yeah.
I don't think any team ever done that. Please chat. Let us know. Has any team ever lost to Spurs 4 times?
I'll tell you again. I'll tell you again. We had no business in that final. We had no business finishing the bottom of the table last season, right? Yeah. That team we had last season, take it anywhere. That team could compete for a place in Europe. That team competed for
top eight. Yeah, they can compete for the top eight. More than
half of that team were with Ten Hag. We saw what Ten Hag.
If Ten Hag was there, you would have finished in the top 10.
As terrible as Ten Hag was, as terrible as we say he was, we saw what he had a decent run, to be honest.
Of course
he had a decent run.
So is the problem Amorim? Because he finished worse than Ten Hag, a manager that you didn't even want.
I've been saying that. I've never stopped saying that.
Okay,
Amorim is the reason why what happened last season happened. Look, I'll say it again. That final, a simple tactical switch, which was not to start missing Mount and not play Bruno so deep, would have helped us a lot more in that game. It's simple. Just a lot of schoolboy errors were made. And I want to believe that this guy who has come from Sporting and is collecting ×3 of his salary at Manchester United now will be smart enough to have to be able to have a retrospective look into what happened last season and saw these silly errors he made. And I'll say it again, that team had no business finishing the bottom of the table.
I understand. I understand what you say. I understand. I somewhat agree that what you're saying in terms of the talent that you have at your disposal, United should not have finished 15th or whatever it was. But you could quite clearly see at the beginning of the season, under Ten Hag, the players were not fit. The players were not fit. You can just tell when, they're gasping for air. Like, these guys are just not running hard enough. And the ones that are running hard enough, they're struggling. Secondly,
wait, hold on.
Use your argument. Hold on, give me 1 second. I could use your argument about my team saying, you know what? If Jackson would have scored a few more goals, if you'd have got them in the back of the net, oh, bloody hell, we might be second, we might be champions. You have to go by what you've seen, right? I agree that it is the manager's fault, but it's also the players' fault as well. The players can adjust. It's because when it comes to a final, right, and my club is known for this, you got to turn up. You got to turn up, brother. There's no excuses. When my team loses a final, I'm like, we were shit. We weren't good enough. We weren't good enough. The other team took their chances, and that's it. My team took their chances against PSG, and we just made the champions of Europe look average. But that's just the way it goes, doesn't it? But over the course of the season, you could quite clearly see you were deteriorating because the team had given up. The team had given up because teams had worked them out, and they weren't working hard enough. And I agree with what you're saying.
Look, guys, I think we've got carried away with the Man U talk. But still, so we don't just end up talking about Man U for the whole show. The reality is, I think if they're going to do as much of business that they need to do this summer, I think Jackson is the better option because he's going to cost less money and then maybe can spread out the money to do a bit more. And he's proven. But being linked to Sesko, I mean, it's something to get the fans excited. But as Hanif said at the start of the show, there is a lot to still do in the defensive area for Manchester United for the fans to be getting overexcited. But there's one team that I wanted to discuss who are trying to take over the world right now, obviously, with all their crazy bids and all this nonsense that they're doing. Not the world champions that said they can't even go into top 4. The Premier League champions that are bidding for everyone. They want Isak, they want Rodrigo, they've just signed Ekitike. But yeah, Liverpool fans definitely should be excited on one hand. But on the other hand, is football just gone crazy? Because 80 million 10 years ago gets you Cristiano Ronaldo or something like that.
Yeah, I think
80 million now gets you a guy that's had one good half of a season in the Bundesliga. And like someone talked to me, I like him, he's a good player, but 80, 90 mil I'm hearing? What's going on in football, guys?
For me personally, I think it's a madness right now because this was also one of the concerns I had with the Benjamin Sesko deal. For me personally, I was not convinced that he has the right tools to be at a club at Arsenal right now. But based off his potential, the valuation that RB Leipzig has set for this player, I think it's outrageous. 90 million euros for a player who has not been able to eat, let's say, 20 goal mark yet in the Bundesliga. For me, I think that is shocking, and I would have gone crazy if Arsenal would have gone into that discussion with them and agree a fee of 90 million for a player who has not been able to show that I can carry my team on my back and be the best guy. But talking about the deal for Ugo Ekitike, we saw how much Manchester City paid for Omar Mamouche, who I think was the talisman of that entrant Frankfurt team. If City were paying that much for him, how come Ugo Ekitike now, who was at PSG some seasons ago, was not able to break into the PSG team, is now being valued for 95 million euros? I think it's crazy. It's crazy.
What did Mamouche go for?
At PSG, he was a teenager, just to add that.
I agree. I agree. He was a teenager, but we should not take the fact that he was not able to break into the PSG team. We are seeing teenagers like him doing it right now in the same PSG team that have gone on to
it was a different club at that time, though, because
it was more of a Galacticos club in those times.
No, I hear you. It was more of a Galacticos era. I agree, but we are still seeing young guns do it at big clubs. So for me, I think he has not been able to.
Young guns like who? Young guns like who? Give me 3 names.
Young guns like Desire Doué. Is it not a young gun?
Who else again?
Lamine Yamal.
Vitinha. What's his name? Vitinha. And even Ruben Neves. João Neves. No, João Neves, not Ruben Neves.
Don't ask for 4. We just gave you 3 that you asked for, so leave it at that. Continue, Akpos.
Doing it at PSG and Barcelona. So for me, I think I'm not really convinced with the Ugo Ekitike deal, but yes, Liverpool fans should be excited because some of them feel they have somebody who is going to come in and be better than Darwin Núñez. But I've also spoken to some Liverpool fans who are not also convinced that Ugo Ekitike is a better striker compared to Darwin Núñez. So it's going to be an interesting one next season if he's going to come in and need the ground running. But Liverpool are doing a madness right now. They are looking like a team who are sending a signal to the opposition that, look, we want to dominate this league for the next couple of years with the way they are spending money. But are they spending the money the right way? We can't tell right now. It's going to be interesting to see how. It's going to be interesting to see how these big money signings would pan out for them. But the last couple of big signings that they have done has not gone so well for them. We saw what's his name? Núñez deal did not pan out well for them. I think who was the other big one? Okay, that was a big move from them to Barcelona, Coutinho. So that was a separate case. But I'm not convinced with the pricing for Ugo Ekitike, but it seems like the manager and Slot have seen a lot of potential in this player. But also there's also a possibility of Liverpool still going out there and making another marquee signing if Luis Diaz leaves, because we've been hearing talks of links between Liverpool and Rodrigo Gykores, who, in my opinion, I think Rodrigo Gykores is the top player. Is a player that I want my team to sign. So for me personally, I don't want Luis Diaz to leave. That hopefully I don't want Arsenal to go into a bidding war with Liverpool. Liverpool look more likely like the team who will go out there.
They have more money than us to fix.
Bro, they are willing to pay the extra 10 million. Arsenal right now, not moving like that. But that's my thoughts on Liverpool and how they're doing.
I think Ahmed is attacking you here, Ahmed Akpos. He says the PSG that had Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. Like, what did you expect from Ekitike to do in that team, man? Come on, man. There's a lot.
Yes, he's making a good point. I agree with that point. Yes, I think the policy then, the way the club was moving there was in a different era. But I'm also looking at Ugo Ekitike at Frankfurt now. Is he the talisman of that Frankfurt team in the last 2 years? Has he been the talisman for that Frankfurt team in the last 2 years? For me, the best player in that team was Omar Mamouche. And even Omar Mamouche did not go for 95 million euros. So how come Ugo Ekitike is now being quoted for 95 million euros? These are just my concerns, though.
All right.
It can also go to Liverpool.
The Premier League tax at post. You gotta pay. You gotta pay, man. You gotta pay.
You mentioned youngsters, Doué, Palmer, Jamil Lamar. If you're gonna buy those players, how much do you think it will cost average? For each of them?
Is he on their level? Is he on their level? That's the question.
The thing is this: some
of these guys I've mentioned are pretty much talismans for their club.
But
Bro,
Akpos, Akpos, be fair. Be fair.
Yeah.
Answer his question first, and then we'll
No,
see where
if you want to,
let's see where he's going first.
Let me be straight. Let me be straight with your question. Lamine Yamal, I think for Barcelona, they have this €1 billion release clause for most of their top young players. So for me, I don't know what his release clause will be, but I know it would require crazy money, in my opinion. A player like Lamine Yamal into this market could easily go for close to 200 million. In my opinion, though, because
the point is
yeah,
that they are far from. They are well over they're going to cost 6 figures easily, right? You started by saying football business is now madness, and that's the truth.
Yes,
and there's also there's this thing that comes to the Premier League as well. They are the highest spenders, most popular league, and blah blah blah. So obviously, it's going to come out of that, right? Which is why I can't even be mad at 50 million for Madueke. A lot of people say, oh, blah blah blah. I get it, to be honest. I do get it. That's what
I don't get it.
The market is crazy, bro. That's what it is these days. How many people do you think would actually? How many people have gone to South America to go and scout, like say 5 talent? If it was that easy to scout, people will go and they will send scouts South America all day.
Brighton do it every year, so don't tell me it's not easy, bro.
Exactly. And how many of them did they produce?
Their players get removed. Three people every summer and replace them.
How many do they produce annually? That's the point. They're not producing.
That's what I'm saying. They sell 3 players in the summer and they very regular by September.
The point is
they've been doing this, bro.
In terms of on the average per year. How many do they do per year?
It doesn't matter how many they do per year because we bought one. Chelsea bought one.
Bro, I don't get the point.
No, this is what I'm saying though. Every single year, every single season, we say at Brighton, who's that guy now? Who's that guy? Where did that guy? Every single year, bro. So don't tell me that they can't afford it.
Bro,
that's the issue here. Exactly. All these other clubs are so busy focusing on players that everybody knows about. And it's so frustrating.
Lazy transfer business.
Lazy. Like even for example, when Wenger came to the Premier League, he went into an untapped market in the French league. What's it called? There's other managers that have gone into like the Portuguese league. Different markets to find talent. It's not every time the big name star is going to be the guy to change it. Like these top 6 teams, they're pussies. Excuse my language. They're cowards when it comes to taking risks on players. And you'd think they'd have more leverage to take a bit more risk because they have so much experience and talent around these talented youngsters or these unknowns. But it's the Brightons, it's the Brentfords, it's the Nottingham Forests that are giving these unknowns a chance, and then we come in 2 years later and pay like 80-90 million for them or something.
Exactly. You know what?
That's the point, though, isn't it, Niger? Though, because they need Brighton know that they'll give them the opportunity to grow, and Brighton know what type of club they are. So if you're giving an upcoming prospect 2 or 3 seasons to grow, you'd be like, remember 2 years ago when I said that current front man you guys have got who played for Brighton. I said he's a bad man, and you were like, I don't know.
Which guy?
Trossard.
Yeah,
but obviously he might not be South American. Right yeah. But what I'm saying is, their scouting department seems to be they look at it differently. They look at it as who is on the list, but further down the list, we're gonna go look at that guy. It'll cost us less. We'll develop in. And then when Chelsea, United, Arsenal, PSG come in for 70, 80 million, we'll say, thank you very much for your time. Their transfer policy is completely different to Man United's, Arsenal's, Chelsea's, Liverpool's.
For sure, Hanif. And Ahmed is kind of talking on those lines, is that because the Brightons can gamble, if a big team does that, a player can cost them the league. And I hear what you're saying. I'm not saying sign an unknown to be your starter as your main man. Like you have your main man already, but you have an unknown. You bred him into the team bit by bit, giving some chances here and then. I think they can take a bit more strategic chances there because I've seen some of the nonsense that we've put on the pitch sometimes. I'm thinking, an unknown player couldn't have made more of those minutes. Like we've had Sterling doing nonsense. Which was more of a gamble playing Sterling last season on unknown winger. I'd say and because he's a freak.
And we know if it was Papa Wenger days, we would have seen a younger player getting Raheem Sterling minutes when Sterling was not producing the goods, and that's one of my question marks with Mikel Arteta last season, where I saw some players,
you did get one though, didn't you?
not produce. But,
I don't want to talk about
Arteta
today, please.
You did get one though, didn't you? What's his name? Noeri? I can't pronounce his name.
Nwaneri.
Yeah, he's a good player. I think he's a good player.
But I don't think he was given enough minutes last season, in my opinion.
Yeah, but Akpos, you're just gonna give me PTSD talking about this, man. Please, I'm not today. We're not today. We're not doing that.
In all of this, understanding that not every player transfer, fully involves what happens 90 minutes on the grass. Sometimes it's deeper than that. It's bigger than that. I'm saying deeper than that, not some sort of conspiracy or anything. Sometimes it's bigger than that. It's not about 90 minutes, it's about trophy. Sometimes it's bigger than that. So guys, I'm talking about millions of.
I hear it.
Can I just say something, right? Which German players have we seen over the last, 10 to 15 years that have come from Bundesliga and that have lived the Premier League?
In the last 10 years, I've struggled.
Because his words from Germany. Words from Germany. Ekitike has come from Frankfurt. So you're looking at these guys.
Hold on. How would you rate Mamouche's first half of this season?
I only saw one game and I thought he was all right, but I didn't see. I've not watched City in that depth. To be fair,
I don't think he's a world beater, but he's got up to a decent start.
He's got great ability on the ball, though. He's only going to get better. He's only going to get better in the Prem because it's the pace, isn't it? It's the pace. It's rock and roll football, Premier League. And he's like, whoa, I don't have 10 seconds on the ball. I've got 2. So you have to adjust to that pace. And I think, like Florian Wirtz, for the last 2 seasons, I think he's a phenomenal player. But to pay what they did, I'm like, wow. The pressure is on. Liverpool have got to go win the league.
Facts.
End of.
Facts. With the money and the noise they're making, they go win the league and then some. The league and some change, Hanif. The league and some change. Maybe pick up a trophy.
The league and Champions League.
They look like
I don't know. They've got to win one of the two. They've got to win one of the two. And the thing is this, I think obviously they're looking out for the future because they're probably thinking, you know what, this might be Salah's last season. And then these guys are going to be looking for a top-class defender as well soon. Because it depends how long Van Dijk's going to stick around. And you've got 2 world-class players who are at the end of their Anfield journey. So I don't know if they've bought a top-class defender, but don't be surprised if they're going to be linked with a bad man and thinking, you know what, we need him. Letting go of Kanate, I think, is a very bad idea. But I think Liverpool, they've got a big target on their back. And I think it'll be interesting to see what happens when you apply a little bit of pressure on them. Because I personally think it's going to be tough for Liverpool this season. Second season, it's always difficult to win it back to back.
And also seeing what they do, switching their creative player to Wirtz rather than Trent. That's going to be an interesting transition. I'm not saying it won't work, but it's going to be interesting because obviously all the players have to adapt to that change in the system. Sorry,
they replaced him though, didn't they? They replaced him though.
But as in. Frimpong is not going to be as creative as Trent as a right back. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that's funny.
It's going to have to come more from the middle and the attack, isn't it?
Exactly.
Speaking of tactics, right? I have a question for you guys. The way I see it, I feel like this is Slot's team that he's trying to build. It feels like he came to the club team and he says, "I can work with this. However, next season I would need this. I would need this. I would
stamp my foot on it, basically."
It looks like this is him trying to bring his own creativity, his own originality to say this is how I want to do, right? Sure. How do you think it's going to affect them? Because I think it's ultimately a significant change. Key players are leaving, key players are coming in as well. I think we're going to see a different Liverpool. The intensity will still be there, the desire will still be there. But I think in terms of how they would play and how they would build up, we're going to see something different. Do you think it's going to affect 100%. Them positively, or it's going to be an advantage for them going into next season?
Well, for me, I think we don't really know what to expect from the new guys coming in and what they could potentially be bringing into the pitch in terms of the tactical side. I think they have this a little bit of surprise going into next season with this adjustment. The new guys coming in, Florian Wirtz coming in. I think he's going to be a different creative athlete. They've also brought in someone I think that should be very similar to Trent in Frimpong, who has come in on the right side also. I think he's also a very creative player who I consider a more offensive player compared to being a defensive player in that wing back and full-back position. So I think Liverpool will post that little element of surprise going into next season. And coach and a lot of teams will be wary for them. But we know that after the first couple of games, a lot of teams would also have something to study off, something to, okay, this is the way they want to do it now.
Observe.
This is how they want to do it now. And this is how we are going to counter them tactically. Because we also saw how teams struggled with Arsenal when we started the set piece thing, when we started the corner kick thing. But after a couple of games, teams had actually went back to their drawing board and brought up systems, to counter us. And we also struggled to score some goals from corner kicks moving forward. So I think in the first quarter of the season, we might see that surprise. We might have that element of what not to expect from the Liverpool team. But I think going forward, coaches and teams will also, figure out whatever system they will start. But I think the kind of players they're bringing in now would give them more variety, would give them more attacking threat and more attacking athletes, in my opinion.
For sure. So don't forget to smash the like button, my people. Whether you're watching now or on the replay, make sure you smash the like button. Before we move on to the final few topics, I'm going to get into some of the comments here. Ahmed said, he had one before. He said, Bundesliga success stories. KDB, Gundogan, Firmino, Son, Abba, Sane, and Matip. Has that all been in the last 10 years? If so, I'll give you a word for it. I'll give you a word for it. Then flops, he said, Werner, Sancho, Havertz, Keita, Hala. I hear you gave a little bit of balance there. I like that. I like that you did that.
No, fair play.
I don't know. I think there's a conversation going on between these two, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be involved there. But yeah, smash the like button, my people. What I would say about Liverpool is Ekitike coming gives them more options. Is he a better finisher than Darwin Núñez? Yes, he is. Is he better at the other stuff in terms of causing chaos? Definitely not. Darwin Núñez is exceptional at causing chaos. It's just his issue when he gets one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So, but the price they're paying is, to be honest, it's not down to us. It's definitely down to us to put the pressure on him because he's worth that money, like they do all our players that we pay money for. Don't let it be on. We're gonna be on your neck, Ekitike. I hope you did watch this stream at some point. We're on your neck. You got the price tag, so you got to deliver the goods. Are you the man? We don't know. But in terms of a guy that a whole fan base is trying to put a lot of pressure on their arrival, they believe that now a lot of our problems are solved. We managed to score 9 goals with Mikel Merino. We did it with Havertz. We challenged with Jesus, the defensive striker. Or the missing piece of the puzzle for Mikel Arteta, they say, is the striker. Gykores, wherefore art thou, Gykores? This is just a typical Arsenal transfer saga, Akpos. Typical. We've supposed to have definitely signed him from week 1. We're now in week 4. I don't even know what week we're in, but every single day I see Fabrizio and Ornstein post like different versions of the same picture saying the same thing, but with different wording every single day. One thing that I want Arsenal fans to be clear for, I think we're such a PR club, right? So hard on PR that I'll be even if we're gonna have to bite the bullet and pay extra, we'd rather do that in this current scenario than have the embarrassment of Gykores going anywhere else. So I'm pretty confident that we're gonna get that.
You don't sound confident. You sound like you're panicking.
I'm not panicking. I'm just trying to give a balanced argument what people might think, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? As the host of the show, I'm very confident that he's going to end up at the club. He only wants Arsenal, even though they keep trying to ship him off to Manchester United and Saudi. Arsenal is what I want. I don't want rubbish. I don't want to play for my old gaffer at United, the shithole. I want to go and challenge for titles. But Akpos, are you as confident as me and believe the deal is done, or should we be worried about the lack of finalization or him holding up the red shirt with here we go yet?
With this transfer window, bro, I've been very relaxed. I've been very patient. For me, I've been very interested to see what Andrea Beta is cooking for me. If it's going to be that Nigerian jollof with spice, with asun, on the side to go with it. So for me, I'm patient with the Victor Gykores team. I'm very convinced. I feel like this is a transfer that will definitely need to get done. Some part of me feel like it's done already. We are just keeping it behind closed doors for whatever reasons that the club
trying
has
to make
got.
a big announcement. We know we have to package
Exactly.
everything.
Probably, when try to keep the fans calling for the transfer, and also waiting for Sporting to potentially get in their replacement for Victor Gykores. I've been seeing that they have agreed a fee or something. I think they are close to bringing in somebody from La Liga, Luis Suarez or something.
Suarez,
yeah. So I think
not the Luis Suarez, another one, I think.
Exactly. So I think like we'll potentially get the big news very soon, but the number 9 signing for me has been one of the big non-negotiable going into this transfer window, because I think that is one area where we have starved. That is one area where the Arsenal fan base, where football pundits, football analysts have been screaming that Arsenal really needs an out-and-out number 9, somebody who's going to be a goal-getter, somebody who's going to come in and give us, that focal point through the middle. Because if you look at most of our attacks in the last couple of seasons have been on the wings. Through the middle, we have pretty much no threat there. I think next to nothing, no threat going through the middle. So this is the player who would give us a different dimension to our game. A player who would also bring more fear into defensive opposition. So I'm very relaxed. I feel like we'll get this done, coupled with the fact that this player really wants to come. This is the player that is doing everything possible, according to all the reports, all the news we've heard on the media, that he wants the Arsenal move. He has told Manchester United, I'm not interested. He does not want to go to play with a club that just finished 15. I know Ibrahim will have a couple of things to say about that later on when the mic gets to him. So, but this guy has told Manchester United that I want to play for the big guns. I want to play in the UEFA Champions League. I want to play for Mikel Arteta. I am even willing to let off some money to make it possible. So I think it's all in Arsenal's hand now to get this done. But I'm very relaxed. I'm very confident that at the end of the day, we will get our man. And going into the season, we will see this celebration, a lot during the season.
We're seeing it on match week 1, bro. We're seeing it match week 1 at Old Trafford.
I've told Ibrahim already, match week 1, we want to test him at Old Trafford. So let's go. Bring on
give a little gift to his old manager, you know what I mean? Hey, Real McCoy, what do you mean by the statement? Another AFTV tie and Egal? I'd love to hear what you mean by that. Love to hear they can go for Jackson instead, just for the sake of it. Hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. But you know what? I'm not even going to diss Jackson anymore, because I've learnt my lesson. Dissing Chelsea players, they end up at your club. So, boy, big up Jackson, top baller. Hope he goes on to do great things in it. I've got no issues with Jackson, but no issues. But Ibrahim, what is your issue with Gykores? Like every time we mention his name, you have like you have like a little point. You keep picking at it. Are you sure? What's the issue? Is it because he chose us over you? Is it because you thought he was coming to the what is the issue? Like why do you not have faith that someone that hit the net 54 times last season can tackle the Premier League? Why don't you believe in it? Is it the league he's coming from, or what is it?
If it was coming to Manchester City, or even I think it was coming to Manchester, even Liverpool, right? I probably would still I would say the same thing, but I would probably put the numbers up a bit. I don't have an issue with the guy. Obviously, I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Fair enough. Be honest,
Frank.
Because it's the Premier League, right? And you might say this counters what I said earlier when we're talking about Jackson and the other guy from Sesko, right? It's the Premier League. You're scoring so many goals. He's been in England before, played in the Championship. He understands. He has an idea of how things work. But I would say it's not going to be a walk in the park for him. He's going to score goals, obviously. He's going to score goals for you guys. He's going to hit double digits easily, right? Okay. When I put the benchmark, I say 20 goals. I think if you even score 20 goals, 20 goals. Look, the last guy who scored 20 goals, we just paid 65 million or whatever for him. 20 goals is not paid in the Premier League. He's going to get up to that.
How many players?
I know that Akpos as well. On the first day, obviously he's going to score because it's Onana standard. He's going to score to start.
No respect for these African goalkeepers, man. Terrible.
But at the end of the day, I'm not expecting him to, do close to what Haaland did, even though we are hyping him as much as we hyped Haaland when he was coming to the Premier League.
Are we? No one's happening like that.
Not from Arsenal fans, not from Arsenal fans, football fans generally, even Manchester United fans as well. Not only Arsenal fans. I'm not saying Arsenal fans are, being too optimistic. The hype is just like when Haaland was coming, like, yo, this guy is going to do ridiculous numbers, because he did do ridiculous numbers last year as well. So I mean, it's been nice to see. It's been nice to see, but the expectations are really up there.
For sure.
Expectations is not going to exceed them.
Yeah, for sure. And he too has talked a lot of smack as well. Like, I'm coming here, I've got revenge or something. I don't know what revenge for, but I don't think he's played in the Premier League.
I haven't been following him because it's not my player.
Yeah, he's been saying revenge, like it's my chance to show. He said that there's the strikers like Lewandowski, Kane, Haaland, I'm up there in the same conversations. That's what he's been saying. So he said it. So boy, so for when it comes to me, I only like that sort of confidence if you're backing it up. Like, most people hate the likes of Floyd Mayweather and stuff. I love that because he backed 100%. His talk. I love arrogance that can be backed. Don't just talk like Balotelli and be playing in, like, I don't know what division he's playing in right now. Big him up though. But so I'm excited to see what happens, and I hope that he hits the ground running as quickly in the Premier League as Haaland did. I don't want to be waiting. He needs some time. But like just Real McCoy said, I have a strange feeling that he might be right about this statement that Arteta starts Havertz for the first game. Well, obviously, depending on how preseason looks, it might be a little bit different. But I see Havertz starting and him maybe coming on for the last 20 minutes to kind of ease him in. And I don't have problems with that, to be honest, for the first 2-3 games. After that, now let's go. Let's hit the ground running. You've been in England before, 2-3 games, get the feel of it, ease in the pressure, playing at the carpet and all that with the fans' expectations high. But by 5 games in, I'm not going to be like, let's give him time. We don't. You're not Sesko. That's the difference between. I would have said that about, let's give him time. He's still got to play into his role. You're supposed to be the finished article. It's now for you to get in your prime years, attack and deliver, bro. And yeah, so before smash the like button, my people. Quickly, just a quick couple questions about a couple of transfer interest before we end the show. Chelsea and Arsenal are starting to talk to Xavi Simons right now, Hanif, and both of those clubs have also been linked with Eze. So it seems quite clear they both want an attacking option that can cover more positions than one. They both can, Eze can play on the left, so can Simons. He can play through the middle. So first of all, who would you prefer, Simons or Eze? And are you excited about this link, Hanif? And then Akpos, same question to Akpos.
We're like MasterCard, man. We accept everyone. If you want to come to the bridge, you want to come. Forget the carpet, man. You come to the Hilton when you come to us, man. We're the top dogs, man. We're club world champions. We're winning trophies, man. I'll be honest with you.
Guaranteed, right?
I hope so. I didn't think my club was gonna win anything ever again. I was just like, it's over. But you know what? My club might be back. We might be winning things again. Because
you are winning things, not might be. You're winning things now, bro. You're back.
I want the prem. I want the prem. When I get the prem, I'm sending you guys. I'm sending Akpos and Niger. I'm gonna get you Arsenal shirts from England. I'm sending them to Nigeria because I'm like, you know what? Fucking champions. I want to be prem champion again. It's been too long, man. It's been too long. Ibrahim, forget it. It's gonna be a while. But my club might get there soon. So, in terms of Eze, look, he's a fantastic player. He's He, as you said, he can cover many positions, and I like that. I like his athletic qualities as well. He's got better over the years, and he's ready. Why would you not pay the extra for the guy that's ready? I think Arsenal need him as much as us. We need players that are ready now if we want to push on, if we want to progress, because there's a lot of trophies to compete for. And my manager's only been there a year, and we're winning. We won 2 already, and Arsenal fans are starved, man. They can't. They've not won nothing for a while.
Stick to the question.
Anyway, it's about winning trophies, man. It's about winning trophies.
Anyway, let's not get off track.
You won more trophies than them. Tell them, Ibrahim. Tell them.
Get off track. Anyway, Eze. So was that the same for you in terms of which player you like, and what's your thoughts about this link and interest in Xavi Simons, Akpos?
I've not seen enough of. Oh, sorry, Akpos, go.
No.
Well, for me, I think the interest in Xavi Simons tells us that Arsenal is looking out there for a creative number 10, somebody who's a good carrier of the ball, who can dribble, who can also get in the numbers in terms of goals and, create opportunities for others to score. Because when you look at the numbers for both players, I think, they can really go head to head relatively. But Eze is the one that ticks all the boxes for me in terms of what I think Arsenal needs. Eze has got that flair. Eze has got, I think we can also call Eze a clutch player, a player who can step up in the big moments because we saw how he has grown from that Crystal. Yeah, we saw how he has grown from that Crystal Palace team as a player that was, under the shadow of the likes of Wilfred Zaha, and now he's among one of the more experienced guys now running teams for the Crystal Palace team. So I think Arsenal need more players in that mode, and I think is the player who understand the challenges in the division, who understand the league. And for me, we lack a little bit of that good ball carrier, somebody who could carry the ball from midfield, switch quickly from defense to attack, who can dribble out of tight spaces, has got the eye for a pass, can play on the wings, has got the versatility, quality that Mikel Arteta likes in most of his signing. So for me, Eze gives me the vibe of the older mode of the Nigerian kind of number 10, the likes of your Wilson Oruma, the likes of, something similar, but, not really close to the likes of your J.
I hear it, man. Obviously, the Cronkies didn't like that, innit? They didn't like that analysis.
They didn't like that, man. Akpos is spending too much money, man. Spending too much fee, man.
Yeah,
season tickets are going to have to increase.
Stuff. When there's momentum,
stuff about what?
That breaks.
Anyway, you cut out for like 5 seconds, Akpos. You cut out for like 5 seconds.
Sorry. I had something. I had a call coming in, so that was why I cut out. So, but like I was saying, I think Eze gives me that vibe of the African style of the number 10 that plays with flair, tries to also entertain the fans. But one of my concerns with the link with Eze is if he comes, will Mikel Arteta try to clip his wing with the kind of style that he plays? Because we know that Mikel Arteta is also a coach that likes control, that likes to control things, that likes to coach almost every sequence. So
every move,
that's a little bit of a concern. What Mikel Arteta would also want to use him for. But if it goes down to my preference, with respect to both players, I would go for Eze every day of the week, in my opinion. But if it's Xavi Simons at the end of the day, I would also take him.
Okay, I think if you look at Real McCoy with the super chat, Eze is bang average. I think that's a bit of a wild one.
Simmons is more technically better. I think Xavi is technical gifted, but is he big enough? I'm not seeing him lately. Has he grown?
This is what I would say about both players, because I like both players, and I've been raving about Xavi Simons for a while. If he has the right coach behind him, I think he could be an absolute world beater. The issues obviously with him, I think he's a better winger than Eze, but I think Eze is better through the middle than he is. So it's a bit of like balance. But the one thing Eze kind of has over him is he's proven it in the big moments, and he's older, and he's got that he's got Premier League experience. And I don't know if the fact that he's an Arsenal fan and he's got unfinished business, that might play into the whole dynamics of the transfer as well. Like, I don't read too much into those players that say they used to support the club, but he's someone that you can see he was actually at Hell End. They let him go. You saw prior to this season him talking about how devastated he was. Maybe he's playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. But as you said, Akpos, like every player that we've had with a little bit of X factor about them, Arteta doesn't really work well with these, like maybe like the Nicolas Pepes, and you could say Aubameyang to an extent, even though he got FA Cup out of him, and Guendouzi had a little bit of personality and he got rid of. Exactly. So I don't know, but one thing I do know is if the difference between those players I mentioned and Eze is one thing I'm confident. I don't know why I'm confident with my manager is this one thing is if Eze or Xavi Simons ends up at Arsenal, they're not going to be an issue for Arteta. Because, do you know what I'm saying? He doesn't sign the player that if he's signing the player, he's doing his due diligence. If this guy going to be you're not even getting the here we go if he sees it. I heard that's what happened with Ivan Toney. They actually went for an interview and Arteta was like, a bit too for me. So let's not take him in. And that could be a positive or a negative. His mentor's done it and won multiple trophies, but he's not been able to replicate that at Arsenal yet. So I don't know. I hope he doesn't clip the wings, as he said, but I would take either player. But the thing that scares me about both these links is the more I hear links like this, the more I believe the Rodrigo link is running away from Arsenal. So that's my issue on this. Do you agree with that? Just to close the show, do you agree that the higher chance is Eze or Xavi Simons rather than Rodrigo Ibrahim for both clubs, or everything's up in the air?
Again, like you said, the Premier League experience sentiments would always come in, but I was thinking at the same time during the show that look, you need to give every player a chance, right? We can't continue to rely on players in the Premier League whom I believe there's a lot of hype around them. The comment that said bang average is a little bit harsh, but if you say average, yeah. But the truth is that he's been decent. If you compare him to Olise, right? Olise, who was on the same club with the same team with him. I think Eze even had better numbers that period as well. Olise found his way to Bayern in a top club. I think Eze deserves better as well. Arsenal would not be a bad idea. He can easily look. A lot of players can easily fit into Arsenal's structure at the moment, which is why Conle would say he's not going to be a problem for Arteta. A lot of players can easily slip in, right? Can easily fit in, and that gives you guys more squad depth. So if it's Eze, not going to be a bad idea. Xavi Simons, whom on the other side has done ridiculous numbers, right? He's done more than Eze. I think he almost got 20 goals. Before he got 19 goals in the Dutch league. He's a lot younger. He's 5 years younger as well. For me, both players, the risks associated with both players coming, they're not that's right. I don't think
they're quite similar, but
it's gonna be a win-win for you guys. It's gonna be a win-win.
For sure. But out of the three, Rodrigo though, right?
Out of the three?
You have to pick one of those three.
I would, but that's not going to be an Arteta problem. If you bring Rodrigo into that team, where are you going to play him from? That's going to be an Arteta problem.
Left wing, bruv. That's not a problem at all. Left wing is there. Martinelli can get his marching orders. Martinelli or Trossard can go. Sharp. That's very easy.
Well, okay. Your squad depth is there. So no issues. Martinelli will wait. He's going to wait behind. Feeding when there's space. You have Madueke as well. I'm scared of Arsenal, though.
I know you're welcome. You're welcome, boys.
You're welcome, boys. You're welcome. This is the first time I'm getting some very honest.
I don't believe it. I don't buy it for a second. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna end the show on that note. Ibrahim is scared of Arsenal.
Scared of you guys, man.
Remember where you heard it first, my people. Thanks everyone for joining me on the show. Hanif, Ibrahim, Akpos. And we'll see you guys back on Tunnel TV Wednesday at 8 p.m. Check us out. There might be a couple of videos in between that. But as long as you hit the notification button, you'll find out all the content coming from the channel. Other than that, we out of here.